Good morning traders, Sasha here with another video coming to you live here from Ottawa, Canada. It's a rainy day, so let's get started. Quick disclaimer that this is just how I see the markets. This is not a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any securities. Today we're going to quickly start with Air Canada, switch to Canadian Natural Resources, Tesla, National Bank of Canada, and Royal Bank. So we're looking at the monthly chart on Air Canada. We had this initial hype here as far as the financials release, and I explained that that was the great area to look for the trades, and it did go all the way to $27. Market always retests itself. I'm just here to read the technicals. I don't make judgments and reasons why the market moves the way it moves. I just read the candles, and this is why you're here, to learn all this stuff. So if you look at the monthly chart here, we had this initial hype here. It's just the middle of the month, so this doesn't mean anything. Basically, this is just an initial of the candle. Basically, this candle is still alive, and we're looking for it to see how it's going to finish. Let's switch to weekly chart and see what happens here. We can see this boxing here, and I was explaining, once we get this huge candles like this, opportunities for the traders to jump in on top of the candle are not really feasible for any of us to jump into trades. So we are looking for a better opportunity to jump in. There are two possibilities how we can jump into the trades, and I'm going to explain to you why. Okay, so if you look at this here, peaks here, I'm just going to mark this part here with this little red line. We can also see support, so resistance, support, support. We can see this was the middle of this boxing, constantly acted as a support, then as a resistance, then as a resistance, again resistance, peaked through but went through right away. So basically how we trade this kind of stuff, let me just enlarge the candles, and you can see how I basically do this kind of stuff. In technicals, we can extend this as a Fibonacci retracement tool. Okay, so this is a tool that can help us determine the best possible entries into the market and retracement of the market. Market usually retraces to the 50% of the move. So move started from here. This was a zero. Let me just take my tool here so I can mark it for you so you can see it. So this is the zero line. This is where the market started. Okay, this whole move bouncing off the trend line as well as the support here at 22.67. We had this beautiful initial engulfing candle that went all the way up here. This was the end of it. So market did not break much higher from that top of the candle here. We were breaking outside this boxing, which is a great area. There was a huge resistance there. We have this beautiful line that I plotted on the screen that you can see from the previous market trades where market bounced before. Okay, it also matches with the 50% retracement. This is a 50% retracement of the Fibonacci tool. Okay, so what I'm expecting for the market to do, as I explained last time, I was waiting for the market to give us an opportunity to trade off top of the box here, because what it usually does, it breaks out, it pulls back, retests this resistance area, probably gives us a signal and moves on into positive. That did not happen, and that's okay. In technical trading, that's completely fine. Those kind of things happen. However, now we have another opportunity, and this opportunity should happen, I believe, should happen at this area here. This is basically how it happens in most of the cases. It's either 50% or 61%, one of these areas here, and the market is right there sitting on this area. It also matches with this support area right here, 24.35. So another entry should be given to us at this area here, at 24.35. So hopefully we get a signal within the next week. As I said, the monthly candle is still live, and we have an opportunity to see it develop throughout the month. So these are the weekly candles, and I'm waiting for the signal to develop at this area here. So 58, 61.8 area. So this is 161.8. This is 50. So this is the area that I'm looking for. This is that trigger area that we are waiting for to give us opportunity to buy into a market. So if you're wondering how to trade these huge candles, well, if you would jump in on top here, this is your whole risk from the top to the bottom here. Your stop has to go below here, so you're risking basically $4 right now. If you jump in on 24.35, you're risking about $2. So that's a huge difference there. And plus, it will be 1-to-1 ratio. If it's 50% of the candle to the top of the candle here, or this whole move, you would at least regain another $2 into the trade. So you would get 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio, which I talk about all the time. So we always look for three things to get us into a trade, and the fourth thing to confirm the trade. One is the trend. The second thing is a resistance and support. Okay, we are waiting for the signal, and signals are like this. This beautiful candles like this, pin bars like this, pin bars, or engulfing bars like this. This is engulfing bar, beautiful engulfing bar. Okay, and then we calculate the risk-reward ratio. Is it worth for us to jump into trade? Okay, so in this case, 1-to-1 ratio would be okay for me to take the trade and go back to $27. So from 24.35 to 27 something, that will be a 1-to-1 ratio to me from my risk to reward. So that's how I see Air Canada at the moment. We are still waiting for the signal to develop. So let's see what happens within the next week. Okay. Jumping into CNQ, this is Canadian Natural Resources. I had a request to do this stock, and I'm going to quickly switch to the monthly right here. And as you can see, this is what's happening and developing on the charts. So we had a huge resistance here. I mean, you can see it for months. On months on, we were not able to break this 49.07 area. Okay, we finally had a beautiful breakout right out of that area. 55.03 is coming a long way from before. This is a resistance as well from a long in past. Okay, so I looked at the chart before, and this line here is sitting just because of that reason. Okay, so that's another resistance that's happening at this point of time. Okay, so I'm gonna switch quickly to weekly chart and show you what's going on in there. We can see that this 55.03, let me squeeze the candles so you can see. Basically that's exactly what I'm talking about. So this was the mark that I took for this 55.03 area, and that is a resistance. That is a resistance from way before June or August of 2008. Okay, so this is how far we went to. Now that we broke this resistance here at 49.07, market moved all the way to this 55.02 area. Okay, and why is it stalling? Well, it's stalling because it stalled there before, and that's how it works. That's just how it works, and it's always repeating itself. There's no other option for the market to do, and I'll show you more examples of that. And this is the reason. So what I can see here at the moment is this. All right, we have the trend now. Okay, this is beautiful trend to the upside. We have the beautiful and strong resistance broken with this 49.07, and market moved on all the way to 55.03. The possibility exists now that the market will come down to this 49.07 to retest, and I think that this is basically what's going to happen within next weeks or a month or two, but it will happen. 49.07, and we will see if the market is strong enough to give us a signal to jump into this trade. Okay, if that doesn't happen and the market manages somehow to break this 55.03 all-term, like a long-term resistance. Okay, 55.03 is a long-term resistance and really strong. If it breaks out, okay, we will wait for the market to come down here. All right, give us a signal and jump in a trade to move on. Okay, so those are two possibilities that I can see on CNQ. That's how I see Canadian Natural Resources. Moving on to Tesla, and I want to show you what happened there. Okay, so we are on a monthly chart. Okay, I was showing you all these areas because that's all we had to go before. Okay, so we had market moved all the way to 849, and it came down here to $700. Fiddle at $600 here. Once, twice, three times we had this boxing, and take a look. It's always the same thing. Okay, we had this boxing here that I showed you before. Okay, that was the boxing there. And then the market broke out on top of this candle here. Look at this, with this one breakout here, and then just moved on. I'm gonna switch now to the daily chart to show you this. Okay, so you can see here the breakout here happened in this area here, and then we had a nice signal to move on here. Interesting point was, this is the highest point here. All right, this is where the market stalled quite a few times. This is where Elon Musk announced his buy-in into a market, selling his shares. Okay, so we can see the resistance at this area. This is a daily chart, so you can see the breakout was starting to happen at this point of time. Once we see the breakout start to happen, we jump to get this trade as soon as possible. All right, this is how it's done. All right, and take a look. This is how it happened. I'm going to show you exactly candle to candle. Let me just... All right, here we go. So this is the announcement here. This is the announcement here. Market moved, went sideways, actually created this little boxing right there. Okay, right on the resistance area, and breaks out with a full-on engulfing candle, which creates another breakout here. Okay, the price is closed on the other side. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours into a trade. Market breaks on top of this candle here, and market just moves on, like it just explodes. All right, and that's how it's done. Market always does the same thing. It comes here, it tests this area. Okay, once the price is broken on the other side, first of all, entry candle into this trade was this engulfing candle. All right, but if you are not sure what to do with that one, take a look at this pin bar. This is the pin bar that retested this area exactly to the point. Okay, if you never seen this before, now you're seeing for the first time. This is how we trade with technicals. Okay, so market breaks out. You either take this candle, because this was engulfing candle that engulfed the previous candle here. Okay, also broke out of this boxing here that I show you. Market comes down. So this is what I explain all this. Market breaks out, pulls back. Okay, retest this area. Okay, give us a signal here, which is this one here. Look at this beautiful pin bar. If you didn't take this engulfing bar, and market just takes off. Okay, you have three things. You have a trend, you have a resistance, you have a breakout with a signal, and that's your bullseye area. This is the bullseye area. This is what I talk about all the time. This is where you take trades. You do not take trades from the top of the market. You take trades from the bottom of the market. You take the trades from the support and resistance areas when the market breaks out into positive. Okay, that's how it's done. All right, so now what we have here? Well, we have a couple of things, right? First of all, we created a new high, which is 1243. That's a new high. We have a new low, which is right here. Okay, which is this candle here, where the market broke out, came down, made a area as a support. Market bounced again from that area. You can see this beautiful candle right there. Okay, if we move to the smaller time frame, 2 hours, well, there we go. If we switch to 2-hour chart and look at this area, we had this low which was created here. Okay, market bounced, came down again to retest how strong it is, this 988 area. This is bears. This is indecision here. This candle here is in the indecision. This is bulls here. First of all, this is a morning star formation. This here is a morning star formation. In technicals, we have the last move from the bears. We have indecision and the bulls move into the positive. Okay, they also break the top of this candle, previous candle here. So this formation here is called the morning star, and you take the trade on top of the candle once it's broken, and the market moves on. Okay, that's where this is your area to trade from. Okay, so 988 area, right? National Bank of Canada, we had this beautiful breakout out of this area here, a very, very long term resistance, 101.46. Market is out. We are waiting for the market to come down and retest this area. This is on a weekly chart. Okay, so at the moment we are in unknown area. It's 105.74 would be the top of this market here. So I'm waiting for the market to come down and bounce off this 101.46 area here, or possibility 102.16. So those two, there's a little support created here on the daily chart. Let me just show you there. So you can see here, it was a little bit of 102.17 area. This is the Royal Bank of Canada, and we can see what's happening on the chart here. This is on a daily chart at the moment. We can see these support and resistance areas, and the market basically, as I was showing you a few days ago, came to this area here, tried to break out of this resistance. You can see it's becoming a very strong resistance here, 133.33. Now we have this nice 131.82 area here. We might be able to develop some new signal, probably starting Monday from here to buy in up to 133 area here. So just be careful of this resistance over there. Very strong. This is developing to be a very nice support, as you can see. We had a stalling here before, stalling here before. We can see it here as well, and you have here, and now we're sitting at that area once again. I'm waiting for the signal to develop at this area, a better signal for us to jump in basically and maybe grab about $2 out of this market, depending on what signal is giving us from there. So that's Royal Bank of Canada. I hope everybody had a great week trading. This is Sasha. Peace out from rainy Ottawa.